Powerplantweb.com.
That was a twofer.
You
little twofer.
Double,
You know
double
what?
the
You
fun.
guys are crushing the intros. I mean, I'm over here making mouth noises, and you guys just bring the intro goodness. You've got the rhythm.
I'm crushing it so much that I forget what to say every episode.
Did you
Yeah.
notice my hesitation there for a minute? I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, right. This is what's happening.
Sorry,
But
Blaine.
here's what happened. You guys were pros, and you straight nailed it, even though there were some hiccups in your game. That's the difference between us and shitty podcasts.
This, I think, classifies as a shitty podcast,
do you-
but I think that might be the appeal.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rock and Roll the Podcast, episode 33. Sure, it's a shitty podcast, but it's the best shitty podcast you've ever heard. And
I was just going to give you a clap, but you know.
Oh my God!
the clap.
We moved past it.
power plant, power plant, power plant, power plant.
Yeah, you missed.
Oh,
you missed
I
it.
knew he was going to skunk.
It was almost going to happen. Blew it.
Am I ever gonna get you to do your goddamn job when it comes to the jingle ever?
That is not my job, and no, you won't.
I thought you were going to say, am I ever going to get the clap? Well, I don't know, man.
Actually, never had the clap.
Me either.
Have you been to a biker rally?
No.
'Cause I hear you can pick them up there.
Well, there you go.
Or in
ladies
our
and gentlemen-
bathroom upstairs.
or
in the
our
bathroom
bathroom
upstairs.
upstairs. Just a petri dish full of the DNA of people I don't even want to share a meal with. Oh, man. Not that there'd be any sharing. So it is Rock and Roll the Podcast. It is episode 33. And we're talking today about not just, I mean, we can call it a show about the British invasion, but that really only is the beginning of it. I want to talk about the Brits and about the UK in general and their influence on rock and roll that started with, the British invasion, started with the Beatles, but has continued. And I mean, it's never abated and has been so strong and so big for a country as big as a postage stamp.
Their festivals specifically just speak volumes to the level of rock that is in
Absolutely.
They know
that
how to
part
party,
of the world.
man.
Yeah,
They really do.
Nebworth leading into Donington, leading into
you got-
Sonosphere, I think is also English, isn't it?
I think and you've got Reading and Leeds.
That's right.
And the Download Fest.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
They're
Those-
all over there.
Yeah, huge for once again a nation that is so. I mean, it's more than one nation, I guess. The UK is England, is Scotland, is part of Ireland, is Wales, but it's so small population-wise compared
It's
to
the size of Nebraska.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
it's just so little, and yet their influence has been outsized, almost. Look, rock. We know where rock and roll came from. We know the origins of rock and roll. It was blues meets some country.
That's kind of an inside
Can we
joke.
do that? No. You know what? Before we go any further, let's get that inside joke outside because now it's time. So Tom and I worked for a guy who ran radio stations who didn't know shit about rock and roll. I mean, nothing. You know who we're talking about.
Oh, I could guess.
Absolutely.
And I'd probably be correct.
Absolutely. The fear of every buffet between here
Right,
and...
yeah.
Okay, so anyway, he
Kind of
told...
looks like a melted bag of dum-dum suckers. You ever left a bag of suckers or like taffy in the sun?
No, but now that's all
a
I can
visual.
see. It really is. Anyway, Tom and I are in a conversation with this guy. Was it just the three of us having it? It was like a hallway
believe so.
conversation or coffee.
I believe so.
And he said to us, in all seriousness, without an ounce of irony in his voice, the blues had nothing to do with rock and roll. And
Well, it's a good thing he's in charge of the music that we're putting in people's ears.
we both just walked away and were like, well, how can I ever take anything he ever says seriously ever again?
It was a
but
mind blower.
It really was. But anyway, back to it. He's out of the business now, and he deserves it. We know the origins of rock and roll. It comes from American blues. It comes from country. The mix of those together with some working man sweat. But it's like what happened was the Brits got a hold of it and then sold us it back in a completely different way. Still with the roots were intact. I mean,
Right.
The Stones loved American blues
Right.
as much as Americans did.
Mhm.
But what is it that they introduced? Why was it their influence was so big when the Beatles hit? I mean, what happened?
Well, they just interpreted it in their own way and gave it back to us. But it was also not just the not just the music part of it. I mean, you'd have to go. I don't think I can speak to how they musically addressed it or
Okay.
changed it. I mean, necessarily.
Sure.
That would vary from band to band.
Mhm.
But they did. You're absolutely right. You know, they sold it back to us.
Yeah.
Because it was. These guys loved blues, you know, the Stones and the Beatles and stuff like that. And they just reimagined it,
Yeah.
reinterpreted it, embellished it, and made it their own.
For sure.
And gave it back to us. But also part of it is not just the music, but at that time it was the fashion
Okay.
and the haircuts and
Right.
all of that, shipping it back across the pond. And we're like, oh.
Yeah. And I think the Beatles for sure got 15-year-old girls excited about buying records. They were these 4 cute guys from they had the funny accents, and they all had kind of characters to them. John was the smart one, Paul was the cute one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about One Direction.
Well, them too, right?
See, here's what happens when you got a 70s guy, an 80s guy, and a 90s guy. Wah, wah, wah. But you're not wrong. The approach, every boy band since has been built on that
the boy
formula.
band thing has always been what it is.
Yeah, the Beatles and to a lesser extent the Beach Boys invented that whole boy band, not only the boy band aesthetic, but the boy band strategy, the marketing strategy. Get the girls to fall in love with them even before they've heard a song, then give them a big hit and put them on the road forever, and you'll make money. And it worked, and it worked, and it worked, and it continues to work to this day. But if the Beatles were the opening shot, and they definitely were, we covered
Among others.
Yeah, for sure. 2 episodes ago, we covered who's the young kid, the British kid, the
Youngblood.
Youngblood.
Young blood.
It's his influence. He's not a Beatle, but he's still from a tiny island nation, and is still selling a zillion, I guess we don't say selling records now, is getting 1 million likes, 1 million thumbs up, 1 million views, 1 million streams from American listeners today.
Yeah, it's now according to Billboard, it's called album equivalency sales.
Oh, is that
So
that
they
just sucks.
that
yeah they
sucks.
That sounds
take
so boring.
right. They somehow have an algorithm that turns spins and clicks and things like that into what it would have been had we still been in a world where everybody went out and bought the album.
And
that's how they're putting together like the Billboard 200 and the Hot 100 and all of that.
And they'll stop using those phrases in another 20 years when the rest of the old radio guys are dead or retired.
yeah.
They're only doing it to make it easy on us until we die.
Yeah.
Don't worry, kids.
I want to know how many 78s are being sold in Albuquerque.
yeah. Oh God. There's one of our apparently it's set to loud.
Yeah,
'cause I
you
heard
made,
that.
did you
you made
ring?
the phone ring.
Oh, damn.
I have a recording
I am strong.
upstairs. One of our record label dudes sent it to me, and it was like old school record label days,
Okay, stay on your mic.
where the CEO of the label or the dude in charge of promotions is just destroying everybody on the conference call. Means I don't give a shit. What this has to be on the air. We got to go number 1 with the blah blah. And he's just like erupting, and he has a temper like I mean, you know, on Howard Stern's Private Parts.
Yeah.
Pig vomit.
Yeah.
Very much in line with pig vomit.
Oh, I love
Only
that.
it was for real.
I
It was an
love
actual
that.
secretly
that
recorded
makes it even
conference call.
better.
That's
man.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I don't know. That was a tangent. Moving
Still
on.
though, great tangent.
We
Because
never go on tangents.
Never.
never,
Never.
ever. So the British invasion never stopped. You know, that people like to talk about how it was. You know, the initial phase was
Well, until Oasis.
until Oasis, because Oasis.
You just broke the rule.
Oh,
That was it. You know what? We made it to 33.
yeah.
That was pretty. I can bleep it. That's okay.
Well, we got to.
No, we've dropped.
It.
It's
We
been
gotta
dropped
bleep
once or
it.
twice.
Yeah,
before,
I think
hasn't
you
it?
But
broke it first.
It's been bleeped.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah, it's
and we
been
need to
bleeped.
continue to
Yeah.
bleep.
Yeah, we're
We'll
good.
always bleep it, but seriously, Oasis. Oh
I said
man.
I can't hold back.
Oh God. And us not talking about Oasis anymore, brought to you by the myth, the magic, and the majesty of our 19th president, Rutherford B. Hayes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rutherford.
Thank you.
You're the bomb.
You're the best B. Hayes ever. Oh, weird. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that was
where were we?
creepy.
Okay, British. I'm going to try and keep us on track at least for a little bit, because don't worry, I've got plenty of stuff for when we go off.
Yeah.
So you've got the Beatles, the Stones, the Animals,
Dave Clark 5.
Dave Clark 5, to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
Am I missing any of the big ones in the first wave?
Well, then there's like Donovan. There's a lot of little guys,
Right.
and maybe that's part of the reason why everyone wants to go back to refer to the 64, 65 eras, when they talk about British invasion, because all of a sudden the door opened and there was just a ton of them spilling out.
And
So,
then, but then you look at the American album charts and even the top 40. You look past that and you've got Elton John, you've got Pink Floyd, you've got Led Zeppelin, you've got Queen, you've got REO, not REO Speedwagon, you've got ELO, you've got big hit makers still coming out.
Queen was from across the pond?
Oh yes,
Didn't know that.
really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I am pretty stupid.
No.
No.
That's the thing. You're not stupid, but you came up in country. As a little kid, you were surrounded by country in a state with only 2 working light bulbs.
Yes.
Most people don't know that. Did you know there are only 2 places in all of North Dakota that you can turn on a light switch and light comes on? It's the state capitol and
the Museum of Rutherford B.
and the Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Museum and Library
in Pembina, North Dakota. The Peace Garden State.
No, but it does make sense because matter of fact, we were talking about the birds off mic.
Yeah.
I just found out today that Graham Parsons was not English. I thought Graham Parsons was English. He wasn't. He was from Florida. Yeah. So see, I'm dumb too.
Yeah.
Super duper dumb.
That's why we make a good podcast.
That's right.
The 3 of us
The
are
dumb
real
is
dumb.
overflowing here.
So one of the takes I came up with, and I think I'm right on this one. A lot of those musicians that we're talking about, the Eltons, the Beatles, the big, huge, multi-platinum acts that came out of England, were also the same age where their parents were adults were in their prime during World War II, during the Blitz, when England was getting their ass kicked in by the Germans every night. And for years later, I've heard Robert Plant say this in interviews, for years later, there was still rubble in the streets. And there was still rationing, and there was still, when they got their asses kicked, they stayed kicked for a long time. So these kids came up poor. They came up, kind of wanting for culture. The music they would get was either low-rent British stuff that they could put together on a shoestring budget, or American Armed Services Radio, because there were still American military based there. So they would hear some American country and American blues, and they were living their own blues, So I think maybe you combine those together, and they clicked.
With a lot of these guys, we're talking in the 60s, they were in a skiffle. And I think that is a product of that to a certain degree.
I think so too, because it almost has
skiffle just being, for people that don't know, it's folk music, but with jazz and blues influences. And that's what John Lennon had formed with the Quarrymen.
That's right. Jimmy Page
it was a skiffle group.
Yeah, Jimmy Page was a skiffle kid too.
Yeah.
Jeff Beck was too.
Yeah.
Okay, so it
And it sounds like a breakfast food
delicious. Try new cinnamon skiffle
from Kellogg's.
Skiffle sandwich?
We don't have a cereal sponsor.
No.
But you know who we do have sponsoring us?
Power plant.
Power plant. Power plant. Power plant. Power plant.
Nope, I wasn't going to go for it again.
Nothing. Nothing.
I'm sorry, dude.
Nothing.
I have this monkey for you.
No. That's your box of monkey.
What I wanted you to do with this.
Nope. No.
Whoa.
No. By the way,
Did it get a little dark for you for a minute? A little too dark?
Scared,
Power
man.
Plant, Kimberly Road, Twin Falls, for all your truck and car accessory needs. And, of course, they'll put in a bitchin' system. That's powerplantweb.com. And remember, if you're listening to us from out of the country, God help you.
Oh, we're banned now. What was I telling you yesterday?
Oh, we're banned?
What? I told you guys that episode 31 was going to get us a copyright strike with YouTube.
Yep.
And so it did. And when that happens, it sends you an email that says your video's still online, but it's no longer accessible in these countries. And we're blocked in Syria, in Iran. Where was it? There were like 2 other places.
Syria, Iran, North Korea, and Iraq.
Yeah, there it is. So to our fans
to our fans in Damascus, we miss you.
we're sorry.
We're so sorry.
We'll send you some bacon.
We're nope. God damn it, Tom.
Boy,
I broke the F-bomb rule twice, and you went there.
I went there.
Yeah.
I am so
Well,
sorry.
we're equal opportunity.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
It's not like the first time.
Yeah. Now I want
So anyway,
bacon.
yeah, the British influence for so outsized. There are other big countries like France has a history of culture and music and whatnot.
Mhm.
Who did France turn out? That's right. Nobody. Gojira. Gojira is the one French band I know of.
I didn't know they were
Yeah,
French.
they're totally French. Yeah. But can you think of any big French rock stars?
Nope.
Not a one.
Nope.
Not a one. Now Germany has some. Germany has Scorpions.
David Hasselhoff.
Actually, they took
No.
him from us, and we thank you for
Yeah,
Germany.
that's true.
Thank you for taking the Hoff right off our hands, washing our hands of the Hoff.
Oh, jeez.
Do you remember?
the Hoff.
You know what I love about the Hoff? The fact that he ended up on the internet drunkenly dissecting and eating a cheeseburger shirtless on his own floor with his daughter filming him.
I didn't know that happened.
Oh, my God.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
have to go watch.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Could you now look? You'll find it easily.
Uh-huh.
Would you please drop a little bit of drunk shirtless Hoff behind us?
Sure,
Because when you see it, you're gonna want nothing more than that.
Oh, by all means, we'll make it happen.
Oh, he'll be right.
In fact, how long is the video?
Oh, it goes forever. You don't need forever.
That
Just
we'll-
grab a
we'll-
little
We'll
bit.
just have him eating behind us here for a while.
Oh, that's great.
That's fantastic. You can almost smell the booze, the cheeseburger, and the sad career decline.
I was going to say the desperation.
And that poor neglected daughter.
It's been a long way since Knight Rider.
She smells like
Oh,
old Cheerios and sadness.
she just sounds sad. Poor daughter Hoff.
That's the kids who obviously didn't come from the greatest environment in grade school,
Did they
and
smell
they
like Cheerios?
they show up smelling like when you make a bowl of Cheerios
Okay.
and then just let it sit for about a half hour. That's what they smell like. That mixed with sadness.
And a dirty old coat.
I guess I haven't had
yeah, but that's the sadness.
dirty old coat. Oh,
The sadness smells like dirty old coat.
wow.
You know, I tried my damnedest to keep us on track to a certain extent. I think under the circumstances, I deserve an award of some kind.
Oh, you poor kid. You need a shower, some
yeah.
detangler, and a new mom.
Oh,
What do you
man.
think, Rutherford?
It's still off. It's still the Hoff.
It's still hostile.
We got to let him eat.
Oh,
hungry.
let the man eat. For God's sakes, let the man eat. That's all he wanted. That's all he wanted. To lay on his floor with no shirt on and eat his cheeseburger so he can have something to throw up when he gets the
You
spins.
eat that and you enjoy it. You hear? I got your back.
Oh, man. This has been a show already.
Oh, yeah.
So I've started doing something, and you notice I'm admitting this now.
Is it the
On-
bathroom incident?
No. This is something I've been
At
doing.
10:45 every morning.
I've been doing every evening now on one radio station whose program director is sitting right over there. His name is Tom Nelson. Tom, I have started doing something on my recorded show on Balanced Rock Radio that tickles the shit out of me every time I do it.
Naked floor cheeseburgers?
No, not yet, but I'm warming up. You guys know that, anybody who hasn't listened to me on the radio, I'm a flamethrower. I'm yelling and throwing things and firing sound effects all the time. I'm loud.
That's a really nice way of saying asshole.
On-air asshole. It's absolutely the truth. But when I do an evening show on Balanced Rock, I'm bringing a different vibe. And I'm beating around the bush to say that I do this. I'll wait until I've said the important stuff on the way out of my track and into the song, right? Like into the intro.
Yeah.
And then I will pause and then drop the identifier. And I'm doing it later and later every time I do it. I don't know why. It'll be like one of these. And coming up right now, ELO. I'm Dr. Nick Redbone. Balanced Rock Radio. Okay. Dropping the Balanced Rock Radio. Like that, late night, well after the break should be done, tickles the shit right out of me.
It's like you're brand new. It's like you're a baby DJ.
Exactly. But you hear guys that did that, man. I've worked with dudes whose whole thing, no matter what song, they could go
Like an
from
aside or something? Like
exactly. But their whole approach, they could go from Slayer into Slipknot, and they'd still be delivering it just like this. And they'd, during up the ramp, between the two songs, they might talk about, something coming up in the Rupert Town Square later this weekend. Hope to see you there. Into Slipknot, and then Bounce
Go
Rock
that
Radio.
way.
Did you just shit your
I did.
pants
And he
during my
pointed it this
story?
way.
I don't think it was loud enough to actually make the microphone, but you will see a bit of a liftage. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but you've got the Christmas.
Cover your beverage. Cover your beverage. She'll get it in your drink hole.
Better than the pee hole.
Oh, God.
Jeez.
The show is completely ruined, and I didn't do it this
So
time.
when you do the bounce rock, do you
Yeah.
do you wink too? Not that anybody can see it. but
No,
is there a wink
no,
involved?
no. But I do. I think my body
It's
English.
just there to cover up my farts, isn't it?
It was.
I'm sorry. I
I'm
didn't
on
wanna
to you
tell
guys.
I didn't want to tell you, but
My body English, I'm sure, turns into a Bounce Rock Radio. Now, you've heard guys like this. I worked with a dude, and I'm not going to throw him under the bus. He was a nice enough guy, but he wasn't a sparkling talent, but he had a pretty decent voice. Not as good as he thought it was, but it was okay. His hair was his biggest. He loved his hair, so he'd put his headphones on backwards so that the connector was underneath, so he wouldn't mess up his hair. Okay. You just missed working with him.
Was this the long, flowy hair?
No, it was just perfectly. It was almost like Tommy's hair, but it was just perfectly coiffed. It was always puffy and flat. He probably used more conditioner than women.
Did I know this person?
No, and once again,
Oh,
I
okay.
think he might still be in the market. And nice enough guy, just wasn't great voice, not a super personality jock. But his was.
I'm kinda lost.
He would do. I'll tell you after we get off.
All right.
Just because I'm not going to be that guy.
Right, okay.
His first name was Lance. And
Oh.
yeah, and he would do that same thing. He built everything around his voice. No personality behind it, but what a voice. Balanced Rock Radio.
Classic
why
rock.
That's
Classic
why I'm
rock.
doing it.
it was his turn to come out and play. Classic rock. That is.
Ooh, it wasn't that guy. He was the worst.
They call those pukers.
Yeah. Let's talk about pukers. What's a puker? What's your definition of a puker?
Somebody who does the radio voice intentionally. It's like I am firmly believe that the radio voice is just a radio voice because it's the voice you've heard on the radio. And so, like, you spend if you spend 8 hours a day talking into a microphone, obviously you get good at talking into a microphone.
For sure.
So as far as the voice itself, I just think it's a radio voice because it's the voice you hear on the radio.
I would agree,
You
yeah.
familiarize yourself to that.
I would agree with that. I try not to have a radio voice. I mean, I try not to do
Right. Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you've heard it a million times, and we know what pukers are. The guys that will intentionally go from a conversation like this to now looking at your weather forecast overnight tonight, lows down to 35 degrees. Ooh, going to be chilly out there. That kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
That's a puker. That's a voice guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, our conversations are regular voice to somebody outside of the business. They go, boy, listen to those two radio guys go at it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Have
Fair
you
enough.
ever been hit with the? Now you're using your radio voice.
I have been hit with
Yeah,
that.
it's
It's
like,
like that's just what I sound like.
I am not.
So from now on, when I go through drive-throughs, I try to make myself sound like a high-pitched, feminine Hispanic male.
Have you ever been called out in the drive-thru?
No,
That's the one that drives me nuts.
No.
After I order the entire second panel of food, they're like, "Are you Brock?" Damn it!
I don't get that because I make myself.
Never mind the 8 double cheeseburgers. I gotta go.
See, and I pull up and I try to sound like a feminine Hispanic male. And I just go, yes, hello, thank you. I would like to order. Give me just a moment. And people don't tend to spot me. But it's really embarrassing when I flip into that voice while I'm doing radio and I forget. Now look at your weather forecast. It's going to be crazy.
I would listen to that show.
Would you really?
Yeah.
And see, I go to the
Look for my
drive-thru-
new podcast,
Yeah. Right.
Juan's House of Fashion. Fabulous. Let's begin now.
What's House of Fashion?
The whole show is falling apart.
I just go to the drive-thru and I go like
Hispanics
this.
in the drive-thru.
I just go to the drive-thru and I go, and they go, oh, the double cheese? Yeah, that's it. That's the one right there. Thank you.
It's Tom.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Because when things fall apart, farts are funny. Farts are funny as hell.
No,
Farts are funny when things aren't falling apart. What are you talking about?
George Carlin said, farts are shit without the mess.
In fact, did you
Amen.
catch the? I've got farts in the Mother's Day promo on the Edge. Did you catch that?
no, but now I have to go
there's a
back
couple
and
of there's a
listen.
couple of farts.
I'm so proud.
They're
of you.
kind of hidden.
I'll find
but
them.
they're there.
Now that I know that they're there, I'll find them. And now that you know they're there, you'll find them.
Subliminal farts.
I put them. They're all over. I mean, if you listen to our family of radio stations, no doubt you've heard one of my secret farts.
Promise. That's the truth. That's 100%.
They are
the truth.
hidden all over the
Now-
place.
You had a not-so-secret one just a little bit ago. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we were
Well,
talking.
I mean, it kind of blows the cover when I lift one of the cheeks.
That's it. Remember when we were talking earlier, and it might just only, I don't even know if it'll hit the B-roll, but there's always mysterious, awful shit that happens in the bathroom here.
Mhm.
Just always. And we find the remnants of it, usually encrusted with DNA. It's just terrible. I wanted to talk a little bit, like we already know that Tommy, from time to time, he and the Little Lutheran are daring us to catch him. Right? But
That's
Brock,
Mr. Little Lutheran to you.
Brock, you shared with me a couple of weeks back one of my favorite bathroom activities ever in the history of bathroom activities.
The beverage?
Nope. The pudding.
Oh,
can we please? Will you look? I want you to tell the story because there's no way I can do it justice, and it has to be you telling the story.
Pudding.
It can't be me.
all right. So we were in Wyoming, and
You and your family.
Yep, me and my family were in Wyoming, and we had gone to Menards, which is it's for the most part it's like a hardware store mixed in with like a Walmart,
Almost like a Ben Franklin's.
Do the good reference.
Not,
Hey,
not like a
throwback.
Ben Franklin.
do the jingle, man. You know the jingle.
Save big money at Menards. See, you want to know a funny story about Menards? Distracting for a moment. They their corporation. I guess I was trying to tiptoe around it, but there's no Menards here, so I can just say it.
Yeah.
Back in the Promised Land, back in North Dakota, what they would do is place an advertising buy way early in the week, like on Monday. They would place the advertising buy.
Yep.
Then they would call up at like 4:59 on a Friday with a spot change, knowing that it wouldn't get done because this is before remote access. They would do that, and then it came time for billing. Well, you guys didn't get the spot updated, so we're not going to pay for it.
Oh man!
Oh yeah, they were
sneaky
that was,
bastards.
Yeah.
Way to go, Menards.
So we go to Menards.
You guys are shitty.
And I found a 12-pack of snack pack pudding. Why wouldn't I buy the 12-pack of snack pack?
Okay, so
pudding?
12-pack. Was it 3? 4 packs of 3? 4 3-packs?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was well, no, because there were 6 chocolates.
I'm just doing the division in my mind. I wanted you to get the math right.
Okay,
6 chocolates.
6 chocolates and 6 vanillas.
Okay, so 2 12, 2 6s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
2 6ers of pudding,
I take them back to the hotel.
which was the name of the first band I was ever in.
2 6s of
2
pudding.
6ers of pudding. Check out our EP. Pudding time.
Took the snack packs back to the hotel. We went to sleep. I woke up at about 4 a.m, very hungry. This happens occasionally. It happens.
Okay, so setting the stage once again. You're in a hotel. You got so much pudding that you bought it at Menards, and you woke up hungry, 3 a.m.
And now
starving.
It's 4 a.m. and I'm hungry.
Everybody's asleep.
Everybody's asleep, so I don't want to wake
except for
anybody
you and the pudding.
up. And the pudding.
It's calling.
So
It's calling you.
I took the snack packs into the bathroom with me, so I wouldn't wake anybody up.
Okay.
A hotel. I mean, it's close quarters, right?
Okay, so now, okay, and I also know what you look like in your underpants, so I have an extra visual.
Oh yeah.
So he's now walked his underwear ass into the quietly, dun 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 dun, tip 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 toe, in with 12 individual cups of pudding. What happened next?
I ate all the chocolate, all of it, and through the chocolate.
Screw the vanilla.
Well, I mean, it was a quantity over quality purchase.
Yes.
In hindsight, I should have just bought 2 chocolate 6-packs, but you save 42 cents when you buy them all together.
What was the town? What town in Wyoming was it? Was it Casper?
Yeah.
Okay, so somewhere in Casper, a pudding crime happened at 4 a.m. in a motel bathroom.
Well, see, I was going to say, most people that hour in the morning sneaking into the bathroom with a spoon, they're not doing pudding.
Not doing snack pack.
But my man Brock is.
Now I want to tie this to a. Go, you finish yours.
Yeah.
Because I have the sequel.
So they all end up in the same trash can. Obviously, I'm not secretive about where I'm throwing this.
Well, where were you going to put them anyway at 4 a.m.?
Right.
How do you dispose of a body or 6 pudding cups?
So I go back to bed, and when the family wakes up, my wife is the first to wake up. She goes into the bathroom and she says, "Did you eat the pudding on the crapper?" I said, "All of it." And then I believe she told me I needed to see a psychiatrist, which is not far off.
Not far off.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to
That's
now.
awesome, man.
Actually, I have the prequel
Snack
to this
pack.
story because I want you to know a little bit more about Brock. Brock is, if nothing else, polite. the first time we go to Vegas, when we go to this convention in Las Vegas, and it was the first and last time we'll share a room.
It usually only takes once.
It only takes once. And not because Brock's not a slob or anything, but Brock sets up.
He's a slob too.
You set up so much radio stuff and whatnot. There almost isn't room to share a room with someone else. You've just got too much going. He brings a studio with him. But we were sharing the room, and I seem to remember we drank heavily the night before.
That happens in Vegas.
It's
Have
us
you
in
ever
Vegas.
been Vegasing?
Yeah.
Not with you guys, but I have.
So we Vegased pretty hard, and I wake up the next morning. There's a bird in our room. First of all, there's a seagull in our room.
Okay.
And
Sounds like a Zeppelin
it's
story.
just hanging out. Yeah.
Well, in the hotel room, it was at the Hard Rock, which is no longer a thing,
which is a
sadly.
bummer.
But when you open the patio, usually there's a screen or something, and most of them have to have it now.
Because gamblers jump.
Because gamblers jump. But this one did not have that. It just had like a rail.
Yep.
But there was plenty of room for, either a pigeon to get in the room or a burglar to scale the side of the building and rob room 1322.
Right.
So the bird is in the room.
There's a bird.
We're not like, it's not like on the ledge. It's in the room.
There's a seagull in the room. I've named him Mike.
In
So-
room 1322.
So
Yeah, I made that up.
There's
But
no way-
impressive
I thought-
that you
I was
remembered
thinking
that.
like you got a mind like a trap, man.
he doesn't.
1322.
Not in Vegas. He doesn't.
No,
Nope. He's got a mind like a guy who eats 6 pudding packs in secret. So
On the toilet.
So I wake up to a bird in our room and the smell of booze and a crippling hangover. And there is also the ice bucket with what's left of a bag of Doritos in it. And I look at Brock and I said, "What happened here?" And he said, "I woke up in the middle of the night and I was hungry and I didn't want the crinkling bag to keep you awake. So I dumped him into the ice bucket
and ate chips up.
and ate chips out of the ice bucket quietly." I'm also assuming no TV, lights out. He's just quietly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The only light coming in is the Vegas cityscape, and he's quietly but happily eating his Doritos. He's happy. He's got. Yeah, exactly. He's
It's all I needed.
and he's so content. He's happy he's got Doritos, and he's happy that his good friend is sleeping quietly, silently, and deeply, peacefully, while he's eating them Doritos.
Is that a drip of Fritos nacho cheese on your chin?
So
yes, it is. Good morning.
it was spectacular.
How was your sleep?
Here's the thing. You still don't want to share a room with Brock just because he'll do that, but he'll also fart, and he's often almost naked.
Can we tell another Vegas story?
Oh,
This was
please do.
before we worked together.
Yeah, please do.
Sage.
So I'm not in this one.
Sage is somebody who works here at the radio station. In fact, Sage is the guy who originally talked to Blaine at Power Plant and said, "Hey, would you like to play?" And he said, "Yeah."
As long as we're giving Sage credit, this podcast was originally Sage's idea.
Yeah.
He's the one who gave me the first 5 episodes came from a brainstorm between me and Sage at a remote.
Hey,
True
and
story.
Power Plant just renewed with Sage for another 3 months.
right.
We have a sponsor for another 3 months.
Thanks,
Blaine.
Power Plant. Power Plant. Power Plant. Power Plant. You couldn't even give any joy during the renewal. You joyless. son
There's
of a
no
bitch.
joy in that.
Power Plant, we love you. And hey, Blaine, don't let Sourpuss McPuddin-Eater over here ruin your fun. We love having you on board, and we'll sing your jingle whenever you want it done.
So Sage,
Wait. Oh, Tom's got to take a call.
Yes. Let me ask him. It's Hunt's. They want to know if you want to endorse some pudding packs.
do they make the snack pack?
The snack pack.
Is it a Hunt?
It's Hunt. It's a Hunt product.
Oh God, yeah.
He's down.
Yay!
He'll call you later.
Great.
We got a fake pudding endorsement on a fake phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next time you're hungry at 4 a.m, make sure in your cupboard is a 6-pack of snack pack pudding.
By Hunts.
Because they care.
Hey, like and
You came up with
subscribe.
a jingle too.
Yeah. Anyway, you were telling a story about you and Sage.
So Sage and I went to a
Las
convention,
Vegas.
which was at the it was at the Las Vegas Convention Center, but we stayed. I think it was called like the Spring Hill Suites.
Okay.
Also, the last time that Sage shared a room with me. There's a trend.
There is a trend.
There's a
His wife
pattern
shares a
here.
room with him because she has to.
Yeah,
We don't.
So I'm a slot player. When I'm doing the gambling thing, I'm not. I don't want to spend all my money. I can sit in front of a slot machine playing 25 cents a spin for a very long time
Okay.
and drink all the free drinks.
Sure.
And then eventually get to a point where I've spent my $40 and I just go back to the room.
You do tip, right? You tip the cocktail waitress.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Good. These poor girls
Because
get
the
ripped
more
off.
you
Tip your
the
waitress.
the more you tip, the better the drinks become.
That's right.
Even if it's well. I mean, there's only so much to be expected at a 25-cent slot machine at Circus Circus. But a heavy pour of cheap, shitty bottom shelf whiskey is better than a light pour.
There you go.
So
He's not wrong.
it's like midnight, and I have fallen off the party train. Like, I'm done. Sage wanted to go play poker, so he ventured out to some other part of the strip. I went back to the hotel and was destroyed, like you are in Vegas.
No.
So I called a pizza delivery place, and I ordered my a pizza because I was starving, of course.
Yeah.
And it wasn't maybe 5-10 minutes after the pizza was ordered that I lights out, fall asleep. An hour and a half later, the phone rings in the room. It's the pizza guy. He's finally here.
Oh, good.
So I wake up, put my clothes on, go fetch the pizza from the lobby, bring it back to the hotel room, devour it all, call the pizza place, tell them how delicious it was, fall back asleep. 4 o'clock in the morning, Sage rolls in. I did not know he came back.
Right.
But
Why would you?
But I knew he was there because I wake up to a pillow to my head from his bed, and apparently he had one too many and had been...
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so he wasn't in a good place to begin with.
Yeah.
And I'm a very loud sleeper.
Okay.
Probably undiagnosed sleep apnea that will inevitably kill me. But that's a discussion for another day.
Gosh, I can't wait to have that discussion. It'll be a barrel of laughs.
So Sage takes his pillow and just chucks it. And so, like, I'm like a whack-a-mole. Like, boom. I'm like, what's going on?
Right.
He's like, shut the f up. You snore so loud. Must get to sleep. Shut up.
Congratulations.
So I ate a piece of cold pizza and went back to bed.
Never, ever, ever share a room with Brock in Vegas. I think
No,
that's
not a
the-
good idea.
Yeah, I think that's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
You know, we've been really pounding away at this thing. I think we've covered all the bases. We got the pudding story in. I got to make a little Lutheran reference.
You did. How
Yeah.
awesome was that?
Rutherford B. Hayes has appeared.
Rutherford
Yeah.
B. Hayes.
And
shut up.
David Hasselhoff.
Is it Rutherford or is it Rutherford?
It's Rutherford.
It's
Rutherford B.
okay.
Hayes. Yeah. Rutherford B.
Good to
Hayes.
know.
Absolutely. And of course, we are, in all seriousness, big, huge thanks to the power plant for sticking with us, I guess, in through July,
Yep.
Yeah.
which is awesome. Love having them on board, and we love having you on board. Pretty please like and subscribe. Dig all the channels that we're on. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Once we had 100 subscribers.
And we're almost there.
Yeah. Once we had 100 subscribers, things changed a little bit for us, and we can kind of customize the channel a little bit more, and that just makes it better for you. It makes it more fun for us. So pretty please like and subscribe. Share this podcast with a friend, share it with an enemy, share it with a loved one, but for God's sake, share it with somebody because we're growing it, and we love doing it.
When we're going to be making bank.
We're hoping to get that
You
12 cents a
subscribe to
day.
this channel, and I promise you more of the Hoff.
Oh, my gosh.
That's an incentive right there. If
and
there
I guess
ever was one.
we have a bigger green screen coming, too. Is that right?
Yeah, it's on my desk.
Okay.
I
Oh,
just,
wow.
So with that said, my name is Dr. Nick Redbone. That's Brock Johnson. That's Tom Nelson. Pretty pleased with sugar on top. Tip your waitress. Peace, love, and rock and roll. We're out of here.